Good day, everyone. This is Eni Oszlai, your musical financial doctor, and I'm delighted to announce you today's guest, Andrea Levine. She's a beautiful friend, amazing client, and she's a digital marketing coach and mentor. Hello, Andrea. How are you doing?
Hi, Annie. Thank you so much for having me. This is quite a surprise. Honestly, I did not expect you to interview me because we see each other so often, but I really appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely, my pleasure. My pleasure. This is, one way to really give back to all the business owners and my friends and my clients and everything else, because you guys are doing so many good things for the world. So I think the world should know about you, and I'm happy to, share the good news with my network. So Andrea, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business, what you are doing?
So I came to Canada in 1991, and I had marketing background. In Hungary, I used to work in five-star hotels like the Hyatts, the Radissons, and Four Seasons. And when I came to Canada, I was full of hopes and dreams like every immigrant. I wanted to get a great job, and I got the shock of my life when I was told, well, you can't even get a front desk position, let alone a marketing position in a hotel because you don't have Canadian experience. And I know that 90% of the immigrants face the same rejection, and it's very painful. And most people wouldn't take me for it, but I seriously cried for 2 days from the rejection. It was just painful. So by default, I had to become self-employed, and I had the odd jobs here and there. I had corporate positions, and I had managerial corporate positions. So eventually I got there, but I always had my mindset in the I have to provide for myself. I cannot have a 9-to-5 and just rely on somebody else and being at the mercy of, job security or lack thereof. So I'm also very creative. So I started my interior design business in 2001, which also I had to promote myself. So marketing was always in my life. And when I had my children, I had to realize that I was at home. I couldn't go out as much. So I had to adapt to reaching out to the world and keeping in touch with businesses and friends and everybody else. And I realized that marketing is no longer the way we knew it back then. And that's how I got into digital marketing. And even my home-based business, I use digital marketing for.
Very good. So tell us a little bit more about, what is the regular marketing as you might have known it, back in the days before you immigrated to Canada versus digital marketing, which seems to be in the now.
Well, I'm sure everybody knows that marketing back then was public relations, lots of printed materials, lots of flyers, printed ads, TV ads, billboard ads, and those were very hard to see what the return was. So you never knew where you're spending enough and where you should not be, because it's just, back then we had the saying that spending money on marketing is like throwing 50% of your money out the window. You just don't know which 50% it was. So you have to spend all. And digital marketing actually is very, first of all, it's less time, and second, it gives a lot of benefits because you can keep in touch with the public. It's easier to track and measure where you should be spending and where your customers are coming from and where your leads are coming from. So it's a totally different ball game, but the fundamentals are the same. Short-term results is advertising, and if you have strategic plans for long-term for your business and you're thinking in what am I going to, where do I want to be in 4, 5, 6 years, then you definitely need to have a budget for digital marketing, not just the ads.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, many of my network are actually business owners, right? So, or musicians. So from that perspective, how can they benefit from the digital marketing platform that you are, you know, you are talking about? Like, what is unique about what you are coaching and teaching and mentoring them about?
Well, in general, these days, people and small businesses and well, there's categories. Obviously, there are the startups. There's the companies that are already somewhat established, 3-4 years in the business, and now they realize because of this COVID that they need to transition their business online so they survive and flourish. And then there is the big companies that have no issues spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on advertising or branding or things like that. So the advantage of this digital marketing software that I help my customers with is actually saving them money, because most startups are very, very tight on money, and they need to get some sort of direction of where they are going, but they have no clue where they are going, because they don't know whether they should be spending money on just advertising, or what are the free resources that there is out there, and they don't have the time to figure all that out. Because if they spend all that time building a funnel or figuring out how to write a Google ad, how to attach an analytic key to their ad, there is so much technical stuff that if they do all that and they learn all that, when are they going to do the business? So that's where a good digital marketing software comes in that saves them the time, because they do not have to do all that, because this is all included in the software. So that's saving time. And second, all these digital marketing softwares that are available out there cost money. And because they are tight on money, again, it's an issue. Where do they spend the money? So something what we have with this software saves them time and saves them money. It doesn't save work, because you still have to work at it, because the software is not psychic, right? It's a software, it's a tool. So you still have to put your input to it, but it's a lot less time consuming, and it requires a lot less commitment on any business owner's part than it would if you were to do it on your own. But of course, the other option is that you hire a marketing agency that would do all that for you. But again, it's dollar signs attached to it. So it's really, they have to make up their mind what it is that they want to focus on. Now, those companies that are already established and they want to transition to online, again, depending on their budgets, depending on what they want to achieve in the future, is how this software can help them simplify the process.
Get it. So if I'm hearing you correctly, then what you were able to offer for my network is a digital software that is basically, so to say, bulletproof, because it's doing so many different things, all the way from lead generation, advertising, emails, funneling, and so on, in a very user-friendly manner. But at the same time, while it does require some work in terms of, when you get the leads, obviously you still need to follow up on those. But at the end of the day, this is all within budget. Is it what I'm hearing correctly?
Yeah, exactly. Because digital marketing is it has lots of steps involved in it. And most people, unless you spend time learning it, you would not know. Like until when was that, 3-4 years ago, when I watched the very first 10X Growth Con by Grant Cardone. I'm pretty sure that everybody heard about him. That was the very first time that I heard Russell Brunson talk about a funnel. Until then, to me, a funnel was a kitchen funnel. And I'm pretty sure that most people, when they hear funnel, they have no idea what it is. But it is a technical term. It is a tool that will help people capture that lead and funnel it to where you want it to go, whether it's going to be into an email sequence, whether it's just going to go onto a website, directing them on a website. But just from using the tool, is not enough, because there's a lot of psychology and a lot of learning attached to how to use the software to the fullest and to the best, to get the best return.
I understand.
And
And
that's
so
what I can help my customers with on top of using the software.
that's amazing. So what you're saying is not just the software that is offered, but then obviously education and ongoing support, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And also this is an affiliate program, right? So the use of the software can be actually free for anybody, because any customer who refers 3 other customers, their monthly subscription, which is only $87, so it's not going to break the bank for anybody. And if you don't have $87 a month for your business, then you don't have a business, you have a hobby, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to categorize in your mind, what do you have, right? So, and what goals do you have? So if you have 3 referrals that is subscribing to the software, as long as they are subscribers, your subscription will be free.
That sounds great. Now, because you're talking about that this is an affiliate program, it's not just obviously a tool for someone who already is a business owner and wants to obviously use it as a marketing strategy to grow their business, but also because it's an affiliate program, if someone actually wants to really dive into this and use this as a business opportunity, is that an option for them?
Absolutely. I mean, I have affiliates, for example, in Algeria. I met a business man who found me actually through one of my funnels, and he is from Algeria. He lives in England, but right now, because of COVID, he got stuck in Algeria with his family. And I'm sure everybody knows Algeria is in Africa, so their resources are very limited, and there is a lot of need and for business opportunities there for people to make some money. And since this mid-March, this gentleman has grown quite a big organization for himself with my help, and it is very lucrative. And guys, if people in Algeria realize that they can make money with this, not just use it as a business tool, but they can also brand themselves in their own little world, then I guarantee you this is something that's a legitimate opportunity for everybody. And it's simple.
This is actually quite impressive, and especially because you mentioned the location. So what I'm hearing is that this is not just, a Canada-wide opportunity, but it's a global opportunity.
It is, absolutely, because it's a software. Although the company is down on Bloor Street, so anybody can go and visit if you're in the area. A very prestigious company. We are one of the only 3 channel partners of Google in Canada, so that's a pretty high distinction.
That's amazing. That's a really good credibility. So so what I'm hearing so far is that this software can actually help for any business owner with their marketing strategy on a budget, but in a very way. And at the same time, those who look at extra income can also join the affiliate program and build their own team within as a referral program. So from that perspective, right?
Exactly.
And this is on a global basis. So actually, what, someone who's in the coming from the finance world, this sounds like a really interesting opportunity for anyone and everyone coming in, because as we know, when you have a business or a side business, then usually you are able to write off certain expenses when you do your taxes. So therefore, you can start building your dream, not only on a budget, with something like this, but at the same time, you're probably able to write off expenses that you were not able to before, and then therefore you're saving on taxes. Is that a correct statement?
Well, you see, that's the other thing, because when I came to Canada and I started working, because I had to take some jobs, right? So I was super shocked how much taxes I had to pay. And all of a sudden, when beside my job, I started small businesses here and there, all of a sudden my taxation system shifted into a different taxation, a business tax system. And a lot of employees do not realize that by having a job, you actually costing yourself money. And if you start a home-based business, just by having the same expenses that you have anyways, those are becoming tax deductions. So you can deduct portion of your house, you can deduct portion of your phone, you can like your gas, your TTC pass, your electricity. So there are a lot of everyday expenses that you have become tax deductions. So the average person, just by having a home-based business, that it could be like any kind of home-based business that costs you maybe $100 on SmartShip or AutoShip, right? That other people think, oh, that's an expense, is actually becoming a tax saver, because the average person could save very easily by not doing much, just spending maybe a half an hour, 2-3 days a week on attempting to build their business, could save between $4,000 to $7,000 a year. And I'm not making this up. I have documents from tax accountants that will show this. So it is extremely important that people get educated on what it is that is costing you money in life, and what it is that the same expense becomes a tax saving for you. And the reason why the two businesses that I have, one of them is a health and wellness business, is I'm buying my everyday household products, not from the store, but from online, from the business that I am. And I can deduct my everyday household products as business expenses. And also I can deduct the software as a business expense. So neither one of them is an expense out of taxed money. It is before I pay taxes, and not like if somebody, let me just give you a very simple explanation. Let's say you buy a computer, you have a job, a 9 to 5, but you want to have a laptop at home because your child needs it. That laptop will come out after you pay taxes. If you have a home-based business, you pay the laptop price, but you deduct it before you pay the taxes. So it reduces your taxation limit that you pay taxes on. So it is a totally different world out there. And a lot of people who are very happy with their job, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody says leave your job and start your own business. Not everybody is cut out for that. However, if you're smart and you have that extra $100 that you think is an extra, that actually is a tax saver for you, and you start a home-based business, you can shift yourself into a totally different tax bracket that opens up an entire new world for you, because you can hire your child as an employee and you don't know that. You can write off all your travel trips from your tax before you pay taxes. So if you educate yourself and if you open to information, there is a lot of money that you can save, not just make, because a lot of small businesses don't make any profits for the first 5 years, and that's okay. The government knows that. But imagine the amount of money that you would get back at the end of the year. That would actually pay for another vacation that you can write off next year's taxes. So it's rolling. It's an amazing world out there. And I can highly recommend everybody. And if you don't know, because I hear from a lot of people that, okay, this is all nice and good, but what kind of business do I start? I don't want to sell anything. You don't have to. When you start branding yourself with the software, what we have, and you have no clue who you are or what you want to do, but you just start with interesting informational and educational blogs that this software actually is providing for you, you will find your own niche and you will find your target audience. So even without knowing exactly what you want to do, just by starting using the software, which will teach you how to do it, and you can learn basic marketing with this, actually can already shift yourself into that new tax bracket.
Because of the write-offs or the
Exactly.
from the taxes.
Exactly.
So on that note, just a small side note, just simply because I am coming from the financial world, If you want to double check, the taxation situation, please speak with your preferred CPA. They will be able to guide you and direct you in the world of the tax brackets and so on. So please definitely double check that before you make any assumptions.
Absolutely.
But it is absolutely true that, when you have a side business, certain expenses become tax write-offs. So that is a correct statement. But with regards to the exact details, make sure you check it.
One thing I would like to say, if your tax accountant says that you cannot write off something that you heard that somebody else wrote off, get a second opinion. Because I had the same situation, because my tax accountant was very knowledgeable, but he's never dealt with self-employed people before. So I had to tell him that this and this and this is actually tax deductible. So he had to double check with the government and confirm it. And it was confirmed, right? So do not just take what your tax accountant says that cannot be, something cannot be done unless you ask them to double check it with the tax department.
CRA, that is.
Exactly.
That's it. Andrea.
And also, let me just say one more thing, because we always talk about multiple streams of income. And a lot of people fall into the trap that they start one, let's say MLM. They start a network marketing business with one company. Then they get a second one and the third one and the fifth, and they think that that's multiple streams of income. That's not. That's one stream of income. So I always recommend everybody is get one that's service oriented, get one that's product oriented, and have investments. Very important to make sure that your money is working for you.
Okay, I appreciate that, because that's where I can help it.
Exactly. So
that's good. That's good. And there are obviously multiple ways to invest. So that's a whole different topic. But yeah, you happen to be my client, and thankfully you are enlightened. So I appreciate the comment, and that's definite truth. Now, because you seem to be extremely knowledgeable about, matters of marketing, would you be able to share a tip or a trick, with my audience? Like something that you would recommend, especially because you brought up the COVID era. And actually, while we have this interview, there's another, announcement from the Ontario government in terms of how they are preparing for the second wave. So we just really want to, prepare my audience as well when it comes to marketing. What is your recommendation?
Go online can happen in a lot of ways. And because we were talking about travel, and I love traveling and I miss traveling, seriously. Let's say travel agents are in the biggest, deepest doo-doo right now, because nobody's booking any trips unless it's inland, right? So what I would recommend is, even if you are not somebody who would go and do a Facebook Live, it's very simple to find short videos that you can post of different destinations, right? So to keep people's mind on you, that you are a travel agent, because people are going to start booking eventually. The question is who they are going to book with, right? So if they remember that, oh, this person showed me Egypt, and then she showed me Fiji, and then she showed me Banff, right? So if and then cultures or different foods, or like anything that is in the category that would cover that traveling would cover, right? If you keep yourself interesting and educational and informative in your audience, people will remember you. So when it comes to the point that they are ready to travel, or even join a travel business, because there's lots of travel businesses out there, you will be at the top of their mind.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't cost you anything.
And this is really valid for any business, as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
Really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have a store, and if you have a brick and mortar store, it's very hard, right, to do something online. But let's say you're a hairdresser. You can start giving tips of how to get rid of breakage. There is so many topics about hair care or nail care or anything that your salon does. And if you keep the people entertained and keep them engaged on your Facebook page or your business page on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you are, it's very easy to get the bookings when they are ready to do it, right? And also, I heard it from, not everybody likes Gary Vee, and I have to say that I didn't like him for a long time because of his swearing. But now that he cut down on the swearing, his message comes across a lot clearer to me. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. So he says, you have to be omnipresent. And for the longest time, I'm like, what is omnipresent? And I thought that it's like, yeah, you have to post 50 million times on Facebook. That's not omnipresence. Omnipresence means that you have to be on LinkedIn, you have to be on Twitter, you have to be on Facebook, you have to be on YouTube, you have to be on every media that's out there. So you're giving better chance for people who are interested in what you have to find you. Because yes, Facebook is a huge community, but we all know that not every post shows to everybody. So maybe it's very sad, but out of the 4,000 Facebook friends that I have, maybe 70 sees my posts on a regular basis. But that's another topic of how to keep up with engagements and how to make sure that you get enough, not just likes, but comments, so people engage with you back on Facebook. So.
Absolutely. And I know for a fact, because I picked your brain in the past in terms of, when I was working with one particular musician in terms of how we can improve, his videos, and you gave some tips and tricks in terms of the presentation as well. So I personally can testify that Andrea is extremely knowledgeable when it the creativity of marketing. So definitely highly recommended. But you know what, because you're also a great friend, a fun person, why don't you share something with us that is something that people don't know about you, because you are a fun person.
Okay, so I came to Canada in 1991. But before that, I used to live on Gran Canaria for 2 years. And Gran Canaria is the largest island of the Canary Islands, which is the west coast of Africa, the level of Morocco. It's about a 5-hour plane ride from Madrid, belongs to Spain. And I used to sell timeshare there. So it was fun. It was fun time. So when I came to Canada, everybody said that, you're stupid. What are you doing here? Coming from such beautiful weather into the cold of Canada. But my dream was to live in Canada all the time. And now I'm thinking, do I really like the cold here? The length of the winter? So yeah, there's no winter going by when I don't think back like, what the hell did I do?
But then again, you find yourself an opportunity that you can do online from anywhere in the world. So no matter where the future brings you, you will be able to continue to grow your business. So that's good.
Exactly. So it's a laptop lifestyle, because there is Zooms everywhere, there is connections everywhere, internet anywhere. So there is no part of. I bet that if somebody goes to the Amazon, they will find the rainforest Amazon, they will find Wi-Fi there. So I don't think that it's and that's what it is. I mean, a lot of, plus if you have investments, you don't really have to worry about where you're working from, right? But the thing is that 90% of the population is happy with their job. And a lot of network marketers make the mistake that they are trying to convert people to leave their job and start their own business. Not everybody is cut out for that. So there is a middle way, and that's what the gig economy is all about. People don't want to have a second job, because that just takes time away from the family life, right? So nobody wants to come home from work and then go to another job, and then who raises the child, right? Or it takes away from your parents, or whatever you would like to focus your time on, right? But having a home-based business actually gives you the opportunity that after work, you come home and you spend time with your family. So even if you go out for a dinner or a lunch with your friend, right? That dinner or lunch becomes tax deductible. You can write off your gas. You can write off the car expenses. You can write off the amortization of your car. So there is lots of benefits, time and money benefits, to have a home-based business, even if you have a job that you love and you make a lot of money with. The more money you make, the better it is with the tax savings.
And on that note, I really want to make sure that, my network is able to reach out to you and learn more about, your tips and tricks specifically for marketing, digital marketing, learn more about the platform, the opportunity of the affiliate program to make actually money with it, and so on. So what's your best availability, Andrea?
Oh, I'm always available on the phone. I will pick up the phone if you call. If I'm on the phone, I will message you that I will call you back. So my number is very simple. It's 416-402-6949. And my email address, again, is very simple, andrea@andrealevine.com. You cannot forget it. The more you say it, the more you will remember me. And yeah, I'm on Facebook as well. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And, folks, when you listen to it and you found anything that is interesting and you want to pick Andrea's brain, please reach out to her. And thank you again, Andrea. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Annie. Bye.
Bye.